Wow, I thought Vigil was going to score a lot higher than this. You guys really surprised me. Hey everybody, Jeff here, and welcome to another episode of Battle of the Operators. This is a series where you guys, a community, vote and rank operators in Siege and then compare them to previous operators we've done in other videos. You guys voted for Vigil this time, so let's go over the rank that you guys gave him. But before I show you guys the rank on the poll that we did for Vigil, I want to let you guys know that you can vote for Hibana on my community tab right now. Also, make sure to comment down below which operator you'd like to see in the next video. The operator with the most likes or the most comments will be the operator we do in the next video after Hibana. And can you guys make it an attacker, because we already done 3 defenders, so let's do an attacker one next. Now with all that out of the way, let's get to the results. 202 of you guys voted on what you'd rank for Vigil based on fragging potential, help to the team, and overall effectiveness in a round. When we look at the results, we see that 18% of you voted for an A, a whopping 61% of you guys voted for B, 15% of you guys voted for C, leaving 3% voting for D, and a final 2% for F. And now when we do the math here and give A a rank of 5 and F a score of 1, we're getting an average rank of 3.90 out of 5 stars. Now let's take a look at our list and we can see that, wow, you guys ranked Vigil below Doc. I did not see that one coming. Doc scored higher by a measly 0.02 stars. This makes Vigil the lowest on the list now. Now I know that we've only done 3 operators so far, and eventually once more operators come around, and we'll see, I'm sure plenty of operators score lower than Vigil, but I didn't expect you guys to rank him this low. You all left some amazing comments, so let's get right into them, starting with the top rated comment coming from Emperor Thanos, and it is, I voted B because he's kind of a selfish operator. He does waste attackers' time if they are droning good to clear out roamers. But besides a good gun and impacts, he doesn't do much else. And that is actually a pretty good comment to start off this video, because you are right, Emperor Thanos. By the way, still love your name, but you are pretty right. He is good at being a roamer, obviously, but also at the same time, he's kind of a selfish operator. The only real utility he brings to the team are those 2 impact grenades. But one of Vigil's strongest aspects of him is his gadget itself, where he can effectively waste so much time with the attackers if they're trying to drone out effectively. So really good comment, Emperor Thanos. Let's move on to the next one. The next comment comes from dangbear, and it's pretty long, so we'll go over this quickly. Talking about utility, Vigil has nothing to offer. However, when he was first released, people were saying that his gadget was useless, but his gadget is one of the best in the game. Think about it. He has the power to deny the attackers any intel on his location. When the attackers drone, droning is the primary way of getting intel on the defender's positions. That is 100% true. They will only see a white outline on the screen and don't know where to look. The only thing they know is that he's in the room, not if he's prone, crouch, or standing up, not if he's behind a desk, or not if he's standing next to the door ready to run out. This is so OP if used correctly. On top of that, his primary weapon is very good, and both his SMG secondary options are very powerful. Overall score out of 10, 7 out of 10. And I like this comment a lot because you've summarized Vigil up pretty well. I really like the part where you say you can't really get a precise location or actual standing position from Vigil. You're right, he could be standing, crouch, prone, behind a desk, around the corner, and you have actually no idea. Therefore, when you communicate to your team, either if you're joining out for your team members or if you're joining out for yourself, you really don't know exactly where Vigil is. So I really like your comment. 7 out of 10 is a pretty good score for him. Let's move on to the next one. I voted B because if a good player is using him, he could waste so much attacking time with them trying to figure out where he is. This one time on Theme Park, I had 3 attackers hunting me and killed 2 and managed to waste 1 minute and 30 seconds worth of it, I think. So you brought up a really good point that I wanted to say, and this is something that you can't really figure out on a scoreboard or a point system, is the amount of time a defender or a roamer can waste the attacker's time is so significant in a round. Let's do this. Even if Vigil doesn't get any kills, but he wasted 2 minutes of the attacker's time trying to find him, Vigil did his job. Even if he didn't get any kills and he wasted that much time, he did his job. If attack isn't even near sight, say a minute left in the round, then the roamers did an excellent job delaying the attackers on really formulating a good strategy on how to push the site. The attackers don't have that much time left to drone out the rest of the defenders, find out if there's any gadgets around the area that they need to deal with, and effectively get the plan off. Next comment comes from hazardhg, and it is, there isn't really an exact rank to put Vigil at because his effectiveness in a round mainly depends on the person controlling him. His ability to create rotate holes and his impacts is the only way that he can help this team in terms of setting up the site, and when he is off site, the player needs to understand when to activate his gadget. Otherwise, you might as well have picked any other operator to provide extra utility. With that said, his fragging potential with the KIA and 2 full auto secondaries can more than make up for this. So in short, if you have good aim and you can use the gadget right, Vigil is A tier, but if you are just a complete noob with him, then he is in F tier. Wow, another really great comment on how polarizing Vigil can be. Again, we're talking about he doesn't bring that much utility to the team. But if he does effectively delay the attackers and make them really question are they safe if Vigil is around or not. Also, he's got some really good fragging potential with the KIA, which has virtually no recoil, and he has 2 really solid option secondary weapons. Yeah, the recoil for them is out of this world, especially for the SMG-12. But if you are in close quarters and you can somewhat manage that recoil, the SMG-12 is actually really good. If you have good aim and use Vigil's gadget right, A tier. If you have terrible aim and you die really early in the round, F tier. By the way, guys, make sure to like the video because it really does help me out with YouTube's super weird algorithm. Also, feel free to subscribe if you really do enjoy these videos. By the way, guys, I do sell merch. So if you're interested in having my ugly face on your clothing, then feel free to hit up the link in the description. I'm going to work on the designs a little bit better so they're not so cringy, but I do have an XXL gaming mouse pad that I think actually looks pretty decent, and the price is fairly good for a extra large gaming mouse pad. Okay, let's get right back to the video. Next comment comes from Velo Equinox, and it is, I would say B because the frag potential with Vigil is great. He has the KIA, little recoil gun, and is great, and also the Boss G is a great choice if you can hit your shots, and the SMG-12 is also a great choice with Boss G, and his ability can change the tides of a gunfight. Let's say the enemy calls out Vigil in Kitchen in Villa. The ability makes you not be able to give a Pacific call out. I'm sorry, man. I didn't mean a Pacific call out. Was as big as the ocean. I'm sorry, man. I don't mean to make fun. I'm sure you meant specific call out, but it just made me laugh right there. But it said Pacific call out. Sorry. Okay, back to the video. Okay, back. Compose yourself, Jeppy. Compose yourself. Able to give a specific call out to where Vigil is, and also you can have impacts to get you out of being cornered or get back to site if you have to, but he is a selfish op. He brings nothing for the team but frags and rotates, but can be an amazing op in the right hands. Also my favorite roaming operator. And then here we have a comment from James Bull, and it is, I voted B because he is a really good roamer with good weapons and good fragging potential, but he doesn't contribute much to the team as he is a very selfish operator. Again, we're talking about how Vigil can be very selfish, and he's right. Like, Vigil is often seen as probably the most selfish operator on defense because he really does nothing but frag. But when you also take into effect the amount of time, again, we're talking about the amount of time that he can waste for the attackers, is something you don't see on a scoreboard, like frags, you know, assists, deaths, like stuff like that. But he does bring utility in a different kind of way. Next comment comes from Avery Hatchell, and it is, Vigil's got a good weapon kit, a good ability, but really if he doesn't get kills, then he doesn't offer anything to his team. You can't really put a rank on Vigil though, because he is only as effective as the person uses him. Now this is a very good comment because again, we're talking about if you are a smart player as Vigil and you're hitting your shots and delaying the attackers and really being an annoyance to the attackers if they're trying to drone well, then you are a really good help to the team. But if you're not doing that, all you are just 2 frag grenades. Next comment comes from Taco, and it is, I would say B because while he is an excellent roamer, if he dies early in the round without any kills, he has provided no utility other than a possible rotate. Here we are again talking about how Vigil, if he dies early in the round, all he is are frag grenades. Let's move on to the next one. Next comment comes from Captain Knuckles, and it is, I say he's C. He has a good kit for roaming, but that's all he is. He can't help out very much with his utility unless it gets him kills. I find when I use Vigil, the gadget has little effect on how I do. I think it's all about fragging. I think if you just want to roam, there are better options that can help the team even if they are dead, like Jaeger or Valk or Alibi. Vigil does have a good kit, but not round changing most situations. So C feels like a middle of the road op. And I agree with you on a couple points in this comment. The one part of your comment I do want to bring up is some operators benefit from having a set it and forget it gadget that can potentially last the entire round. Some operators who have active abilities have to activate their ability, and when they die, that utility goes to waste. Those operators tend to have a harder time when having the amount of utility that a potential set it and forget it operator does. Let's bring Rook and Doc into the equation. Rook is a set it and forget it operator where he sets his armor down. The entire team benefits from it. If Rook dies 0.01 seconds into the rounds, as long as he got his Rook armor down, he helped out a lot to the team. Doc is a very reactionary operator. If Doc dies in the very beginning of the round, no stim pistols get used for the entire team. Kind of like Vigil. If Vigil dies, then the attacking team doesn't have to necessarily worry about droning too much anymore. But if Vigil lives and does a really good job later in the round, he has the potential to really make the attackers question their safety, and his utility is a lot more useful there. But then you have a comment like Bodie122, and he says B, because he is undoubtedly the best roamer. Before he leaves, he has the impacts to make rotate holds, but his gadget is just amazing. Denying intel is one of the strongest things in R6. The reason he is not an A is because if he dies, all he did for the team is he make a rotate. He isn't much of a team player. That was a very good summarization, and I think that is a very powerful statement with saying that Vigil is undoubtedly the best roamer. I don't know if I agree with that statement, but I will say that for the most part, Vigil is a really, really good operator and a really good roamer. Let me know in the comment, guys, if you think Vigil is undoubtedly the best roamer. Let me know what you guys think. Now, here we have a comment from MV Austria, which summarizes Vigil perfectly as we wrap up today's video. For me, I think that Vigil is between an A and a B. Vigil is A because he is an ideal roamer. He's a 3-speed, has good guns, and impact nades for rotation. His gadget, the ERC7, is great for intel denial and stalling the attacker push. His fragging potential is great as he can't get droned out when his gadget is active, which is amazing. I also believe that Vigil is B because his gadget is selfish, meaning he only gets its benefits. So it is essential to get frags. If Vigil doesn't get any kills and dies, he will be useless to the team. Since you could have brought a more selfless operator, and because of his selfish ability, he can't be brought on several situations. Overall, I think that Vigil is a perfect roamer. He is enjoyable to play, and when he's played correctly, he can dominate rounds. His fragging potential, when supplied with intel, is great. Thank you all so much for everyone who submitted these comments. I can't thank you guys enough. Voting in the polls and giving me these amazing comments to go over in videos. I also want to remind you guys, you can vote for Hibana right now on the community tab and leave some good comments for a chance to be featured in the next video. Also, I need to remind you guys to make sure to comment down below which operator you'd like to see after Hibana, preferably an attacker, please. Well, that's all I got for you. Now it's your turn to tell me something. Do you agree with most of the comments, or do you have something else to say? You can also let me know by leaving a comment down below. If you did enjoy the video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe to notifications if you're new. Now, with all that being said, Sirjeppy out!